Hello, it is Monday again. Exciting week in the Petrogallo-Moreski house. Our youngest daughter is getting married on Saturday. So, in addition to all of the things, we got a lot of fun stuff going on. All right, so today is day 7, the last day of our protein challenge in the Optimal You group. I love the suggestions people are dropping in there. I actually got a really good idea from my friend Karen Hall. And I have a yummy, I never add chia seeds to my smoothies. And I did, and it's awesome. So, little tricks to I talk about habit stacking, and that's doing something like adding something on to one thing that you're already doing, because then you're really not doing anything more. You're not really doing anything new. You're just adding something on to what you already do. So it's a great little hack. I talk about that in the early part, the mindset part of my group program. And it really works with everything. So, I'm looking at this as protein stacking and protein and fiber stacking. So I might have a chia seed in my tooth, so ignore that. And I appreciate everyone engaging and all your ideas at the end of today. So get your ideas in there. Hit the engagement in the group. If you're not in the group, join. I can send you the link. Just let me know. But I have a lot of engagement. So the top engager for the week, I'm sending a little treat. And if you haven't figured out what my favorite treat is, it's spring and mulberry chocolate. So someone will be getting a little spring and mulberry bar. So I want to wrap the week up with driving home why protein is so important and tying it into my 3-legged bar stool of gut health, metabolism, and hormone balance, right? They all have to be balanced. If one is out of sync, you're going to fall right on your face. Hey, Maria, thank you. So I hope the goal of this challenge this week was more consistent protein in your meals, less cravings, feeling full longer. And I say it all the time just because I think people think that I am good all the time, but that's not the case. I got the same problems as everybody else does. So it is really hard, for me to remember and do the same things. I need to prepare. And when I was doing this challenge with everybody this week, I realized how filling protein is. And it's awesome. I mean, gosh, I wasn't hungry at all this week. And I got my 100 grams of protein in a day, which I was really happy about because, and again, we all know 100 grams is less than we need ideally, but it's a lot more than most people are getting. So I hope that was a good starting point. And now that I have my protein smoothie, which is, I almost got 40 grams of protein in a smoothie, plus 9 grams or 7 grams of fiber. And then dinner, so a normal dinner, that's gonna get me close to 100. Another smoothie, or if I keep adding little snacks of protein throughout the day, I'm getting above that 100 grams. So I hope you all have at least gotten to your 100 or close to it, and you are getting the understanding of how it keeps you full, stops those fluctuations. Okay, I could talk forever. So, protein and your gut. Protein makes a healthy, happy gut. It repairs the lining of your gut. It supports the enzymes that help you break down food efficiently. One little caveat is if you have ever taken omeprazole, esomeprazole, Pepcid, anything like that that's going to suppress your gastric juices in your stomach, then you're going to need some help with digestive enzymes with every meal. to help break down that protein, because protein is difficult for your gut to break down alone if you don't have these enzymes. So even if you aren't taking that medication, digestive enzymes are really, really helpful. Digestive enzymes, by the way, are the enzymes of pineapple and papaya. Those are the two biggest ones. So if you're looking to get it from food, you're going to want to incorporate some papaya and pineapple into your diet on a daily basis. If you get digestive enzymes and take it with your biggest meal of the day, that will help you. Again, they help break down that protein, which keeps your gut happy and healthy and keeps your body using the protein rather than it just kind of hanging out there, not really being used for anything. It also supports your immune function in your gut. 70% of our immunity comes from our gut. So we need protein to do this. Adequate protein equals better digestion, less bloating, and a stronger gut barrier. Protein is literally the building blocks for everything, okay? So aim for protein at every meal. You know I'm a broken record when I talk about this. It helps stabilize your digestion and keeps your gut from becoming inflamed by those sugar swings. So you've all heard me talk about never eat unopposed carbohydrates. Those sugar swings, hi Jackie, those sugar swings are essentially what we're trying to keep down. And you all know sugar, gluten, two of the most highly inflammatory foods for your gut. So protein, healthy fats help calm that down, okay? So that's what protein is doing in our gut or for our gut. And now protein's impact on our lean muscle mass, right? It has the highest thermic effect, meaning that our body burns more calories breaking down protein than carbohydrates or fats. So you hear me talk about protein as being the big log you put on a fire and it burns slow and just smolders and puts off heat. Well, carbs are a piece of paper that you throw on the fire. It goes up. It's a great flame for a second and then dies down. That is the sugar spike that carbohydrates cause. And that slow burn, that feeling full, that is your body breaking down protein. So remember, it takes more calories to burn protein than that quick flame of a carbohydrate. Protein also preserves muscle mass while you lose fat. So it keeps your metabolism higher over time. So protein burns fat. So protein maintains your muscle mass and muscle mass burns more fat. So that increases your basal metabolic rate. That's the amount of fat you just burn by sitting at your desk or hanging out and not doing much. That's what we want. We want that basal metabolic rate higher. Muscle mass will do that. So we got to stop thinking about weight and health as like thin. Quit looking at that number on the scale. We want to fuel the muscle that will help us lose the fat so that the shifting will happen in how your clothes fit. Eventually, that scale number, that's going to catch up. But it's totally different. When you're losing fat the right way, you look different. And someone in a group somewhere, they made a comment of, why is it that when I lose weight, I look older? And my response to that is because you're doing it the wrong way. As we get older, our muscle is going to decrease naturally. As you get older, it's that much more important to maintain that muscle mass by regular strength training and intake of protein in your diet. There's nothing else. I mean, no way around that. Collagen and protein. Keep in mind, collagen is not a complete protein. So while, yes, that's great for hair, skin, and nails, you need complete proteins, 100 grams a day minimum, to maintain that muscle tone. And that way, that skin doesn't look as drapey or as crepey and empty, right? Okay, so protein preserves muscle mass while losing fat, keeps the metabolism higher over time. Yay, that's what we want. It also, enough protein intake helps control the hunger hormones of ghrelin and leptin. So you naturally eat less and don't feel like you're hungry. You're not craving that next quick fix because you've got that big thick log on the fire that you're giving your metabolism something to burn. Now, how does protein work with hormones and how does it tame your hormones? This is because protein provides amino acids, and amino acids help make your hormones like serotonin, dopamine, and thyroid hormones. So all of those amino acids are absolutely necessary, and we're only getting them in protein. Now, minerals come into play as well, but protein, literally the building blocks for so many things. Helps regulate blood sugar, less spiking. We already went through that visual of the carbohydrates, the high uptick and burn of the calories, or energy, right? It's that high-low, high-low. We want to avoid that. Protein avoids that spiking. It keeps everything nice and steady. You got a little bit of a spike, not much at all. That gives you a more stable mood. You're not hangry, less crashes. We don't want crashes. It also supports cortisol balance by preventing that hangry feeling, okay? And I talk about cortisol a lot, especially, y'all know I love my coffee. And I used to love coffee on an empty stomach. And actually, I spoke with someone the other day. I was doing a consult, and this is my love-hate relationship with intermittent fasting. He has a 4-hour eating window, 4 hours. So he was fasting 20 hours a day and said to me, I'm only drinking black coffee, tea, and water in that 20 hours. And I just don't know why I can't lose weight. Well, it doesn't matter. He's not eating anything. He's putting his body into starvation mode, which his body's saying, what are you doing to me? You're not giving me any food. I'm going to hold on to what I have. In addition to that, he is fueling his cortisol surges. As cortisol surges, so does your insulin. And that just contributes to that roller coaster that we're trying to avoid. So even though he's not bringing the calories in, he is just perpetuating the starvation mode of his body, saying, I have to hold on to everything I have. So that is in my opinion, a 20-hour fasting window for anyone is never a good thing. So we got to keep everything calm. Proteins are your building blocks of so many amino acids, which translates to hormone production and keeps you full longer, so it prevents you from being hangry. I would love to hear what challenge you want coming up next. We are heading into, things are calming down, summer's coming to an end. Everybody is excited to kind of get back onto a schedule. So let me know what you're looking for. What kind of challenge do you want to do next? We did the healthy mindset, protein. Give me some suggestions and we'll get something started. Join the group, keep the engagement happening, and I'll be excited to send out a healthy treat pack. All right, everybody. I will see you Wednesday. Have a great day.